Brian Kilmeade, who had the quote of the weekend when he said, oh, mentally ill people, mentally ill homeless people who do crime, kill them. This is in response to the murder of Irina Zarutska a couple weeks ago in Charlotte, North Carolina. What's noteworthy about Fox's coverage of this story in general is that they were late to it. They didn't start talking about it until a couple of weeks after it happened, and they're using it to promote their incredibly racist and disgusting worldview that black people are animals who cannot help themselves when it comes to commit crime, which of course is absolutely reprehensible. The fact that this individual was black had nothing to do with him killing Irina Zarutska. He killed Irina Zarutska because he was mentally unwell. There was well-documented mental illness with this individual. But that's not an excuse to generalize all black people and all people who deal with mental illness. The overwhelming majority of people that have conditions, that have these kinds of conditions, don't kill people. It's a really gross generalization. And it's even grosser that these two dipshits went ahead and did not check Brian Kilmeade on what he said. No one was like, oh, well, that appears to be a step too far. They just sat and nodded their big dumb heads as their pea brains rattled around saying, oh yeah, vaporize all homeless people. Party of Peace, by the way, the alleged Party of Peace, the Republican Party.
We don't have to, we feel so compassionate because you see the mental health crisis happening.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not our job. We shouldn't have to live in fear while they figure out what's going on right there.
Right.
This is projection, by the way. If you live in fear because mentally ill people exist, that's on you. As someone who has ridden the subway, and I'm using this example because they work in New York City and they go on to talk about crime on public transit. As someone who's ridden the subway dozens of times and the train dozens of times, not once have I ever sat in the subway and thought, what if I get attacked by a mentally ill person today? Because instances like this are exceedingly rare. The only thing that's rarer than you getting crimed on the subway is being struck by lightning. It is a unicorn event when it happens. That's not to say that it's not tragic. It certainly is tragic, but it's overblown by the Republican media.
In a mental institution, put them in a jail, and you guys figure it out. But people having to duck and dive on the trains and the buses, walking through the street, this is one case, but this is happening all across the country.
There's people walking on the street behind them, and not one of them is dodging, ducking, dipping, diving, or dodging. What's rich as well about Byron Donald's commentary on this, he's like, just throw him in a mental institution. What the fuck do you think the Republican Party has stopped the government from doing? From providing access to healthcare for these people? The Republican Party, at every step of the way, has looked to limit accessibility to healthcare, both physical and mental. The big, beautiful bill is set to strip healthcare away from 10 to 12 million people. Some estimates say upwards of 17 million, but we'll go with the Congressional Budget Office's estimation of 10 to 12 million. The big, beautiful bill is going to shutter hundreds of rural hospitals. And Byron Donalds is sitting on Fox News saying, just give them access to healthcare. Bitch, there is no access to healthcare. There is no robust mental health care infrastructure. The private insurance companies won't even cover mental health care. They will not cover they will not cover you being able to meet with your therapist, who's going to charge $400 for 45 minutes. They may not even cover the prescription drugs that you're given. Holy fuck.
And it's not a money issue. They have given billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get to this point?
Right. I would say this. We're not voting for the right people. In North Carolina.
Yeah, these people are fucking demented. You have people who are losing their fucking jobs for saying that they don't give a fuck that Charlie Kirk died. And Brian Kilmeade is on TV advocating to kill mentally ill homeless people. Why does he still have his job? Why is he allowed to say this with no consequence? He did issue an apology a couple days after. Do you see the divide in perception with Republicans? I don't understand how they can be like, no, this is cool. Homeless people scare me, so they should be fucking killed. Getting back to Byron Donalds as well, because this guy he's a dumbass. The reason why these kinds of programs have not worked, even though they've been funded, is because they have been consistently underfunded. And the underfunding has led to inadequate treatment, which has then led to the recipients of this treatment being skeptical of it. Furthermore, there is the societal condition that homeless people and that mentally ill people are subhuman almost, and that they're not worthy of treatment, which, like, they are literally saying that. Byron Donalds and Brian Kilmeade are like, your two options are to either go to jail or fucking die. There's a stigma associated with it. There's a stigma that mentally ill people are a burden on society, even though across the fucking pond and in every other developed nation across the world, there is a better handling of individuals who are mentally ill. There is access to therapy. There is access to mental health care, whether that be a mix of therapy and medications. When it comes to addiction treatment, the United States is basically non-existent, and yet every time the idea is floated to have safe injection sites, the Republican Party is like, you can't fucking do that. That's disgusting. What do you mean you want people to take heroin as they're being observed by a doctor so that way they get a safe dose and don't fucking die? You want them, that medical professional, to wean them off of heroin? As I said before, these people are not interested in having a rational dialogue about anything. They're not interested in solving any of these problems, because once these problems are solved, like, these people are out of a job. They want to continue to perpetuate this propaganda that the Democrats are ineffective. And if the Democrats are ineffective, the Republicans are evil, because Republicans don't even attempt to bring in legislation to solve these problems.
Carolina, wake up. You can't keep putting these people in power. They woke up in Los Angeles. They got a stronger DA. They they got rid of Chancellor Bodine in San Francisco. Hopefully they'll get rid of this terrible guy, Alvin Bragg, in New York. And now it's...
But I thought that LA, San Francisco, and New York were crime-ridden hellholes. So San Francisco simultaneously hired or voted in a more conservative DA. I guess I'm not familiar with the district attorney of San Francisco. Pardon me. But if they're singing their praises on Fox News, you would think that they're at least more conservative than the previous guy. But yet, these same cities are disgusting and abhorrent, and Republicans are afraid to walk through San Francisco and Los Angeles because they're just dirty, and you can't go to the corner of your hotel without being crimed multiple times. Which is it, Brian Kilmeade? Are the more conservative DAs doing a better job, or are all of these blue cities still violent hellscapes? You can't have it both ways.
Up to the people, the election, which is who's ever up in November, and that Senate seat that belongs to Tom Tillis, who, by the way, yesterday said, I don't want any help from the federal government to bring crime under control in cities like Charlotte. That's your decision. But Michael Whatley, or you could have Governor Cooper. Governor Cooper gave you these terrible laws. Mike Whatley wouldn't, and he ran the RNC. These are the people in North Carolina, a purple-leaning red state. They got a big choice. So on this element, it is political because politics has to change this.
100%.
On this element, it's political. Meanwhile, literally every time violence occurs, it is political. These people don't understand that, like, literally everything is politics. Like, this is the name of my show. Everything, regardless of what you think about it, is politics. Some things more overt, some things are more implicit. The reason why this individual was put in a position to murder Irina Zarutska is because of the lack of appropriate mental health care. There was nowhere for this person to go to get treatment, despite the fact that his own mom said that he was a threat. There's no There's no mental health care facility for him to go to. There's nowhere for him to be on the appropriate drugs. And the Republicans are like, oh, there's just like nothing that we could do to fix this. We just need to send them all to El Salvador or kill them. It's such like, how do you have such a binary understanding of the world as a mainstream cable news commentator? It flabbergasts me, dude. It flabbergasts me. But then again, I'm a dumbass who has continued to be surprised by the stupidity displayed by prominent Republicans.